Hi there, welcome to an episode of Next Meridian Expedition. Today we're going to talk about the Temporary International Permit, or in other words, TIP. This can be a step which is actually quite easy, but can be stressful when you hear someone says, oh, how are you going to get your TIP? Or have you thought about how you're going to cross with an international license plate into a country without the permit, and where are you going to get it, which border are you going to get it? So it starts creating a lot of thoughts in your brain, like what is the TIP, how do I get it, is it difficult, can I get it, is my car allowed? So I'm going to answer all of those in this video, and just so you know, it is not complicated, it is fine. Obviously we've had one experience so far on getting the TIP, going from the USA into Mexico with a foreign vehicle. Our car is French plated vehicle from Europe, and it took us an hour and a half to cross the border, and the TIP section of the hour and a half probably was 20 to 25 minutes. It's actually really fast, pretty easy, and I'm gonna tell you right now how it all went and what you should look out for. So I've got my phone, so I'm just looking at my notes just to make sure I don't forget anything, and obviously if I do forget anything, please leave it in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you and give you the answer, or write to us on Instagram, that's fine too. Wherever you want, we'll get back to you. Okay, so which border did we cross? We crossed the Tecate border. The Tecate border is a very small border near Baja California area, not far from Tijuana and San Diego. Mexicali seems to be a good border as well because it's small, but the borders towards the big cities of San Diego and Tijuana are full of vehicles and a lot of control and a lot of traffic. So the best would be, I believe, Tecate, because we crossed in that border and literally the crossing with the vehicle took 15-20 minutes. There was no traffic. It's just them checking the vehicle really quickly and then letting us through, and then we spent an extra hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes doing the visa and the TIP, and it was very simple, and the guys are very nice. When you go to bigger border crossings, sure, you're getting a highway into it, but you're then spending a lot of time maybe getting your car checked. Maybe it's a bit more rough, a bit more difficult. Maybe they'll do a full car check. I mean, again, these are just hypotheses. I usually think smaller borders are better. So first of all, what is the TIP, or the Temporary Import Permit? It's a temporary permit for your vehicle to be able to bring it into the country, so importing it into the country, meaning this permit just says this vehicle is allowed to be in our country for X amount of days, and once that expiration is done, that vehicle must get out of the country. If it doesn't get out, then the Mexicans, or whichever temporary import you're making the vehicle get into, will know that there's a vehicle somewhere in the country which still hasn't come out, so they'll come searching for it. So you need an entry date and an exit date. Usually you leave a deposit when that happens. We got to the border. To the border, one thing you need to know, it's not like in Europe or in North American countries where everything is digital. We actually had to print out the papers, so usually come with copies. So we came with a copy for the TIP of the car registration and passport. That's the only two copies I needed. If you bring them your own passport, they might be able to print it for you, but it's uncertain. And if not, then they'll send you somewhere to go print it. So just come organized, it'll save you a lot of time and frustration and incomprehension. So you bring these two. You need to then bring cash. You can pay by card, in Mexico at least. The problem with card is that there might be a fee that comes out of it, and secondly, when they send you money back, there might be again another fee when you get out of the country. So for us, we'll cross into Belize, and so when we come to the border of Mexico-Belize, they'll be like, oh, okay, let me give you back your deposit. And if I said, oh, I paid by card, they will see it anyway on the form that you paid by card. They will say, okay, give me your card number. So they have to insert all your card numbers, they have to validate your account, send you the money, and usually the money comes after 3 days when you've already crossed the border. So if there's an issue, then you have to come back to the border and figure it out. So, and you might have to pay an international fee on it, because I don't have a Mexican account, I have a European French account, so I will for sure pay fees. So just bring cash. If you give cash at the border, then you will get the cash back at the exit border, so in Belize in this case. And make sure you get the return deposit before you cross the border, because the one who took your money is Mexico, not Belize. So if you cross the border and in Belize you're like, hey, where's the deposit, Belize will say, well, you have to leave a deposit to us to get into the country, but Mexico was back there. So little things. Cash, photocopy of your passport, photocopy of your vehicle registration. You can go to the TIP office and they will give you a form saying this is your vehicle, this is your information, do you agree? You sign it. How much have you deposited? They will tell you depending on the age of your vehicle, well, the year of your vehicle, and the value, I believe. But again, this depends on each country. In our case, because our vehicle is newer than 2007, it's a 2013 model, we had to deposit $400, which is the maximum deposit. So it is an amount, but it's fine for now. There are countries like Egypt where the deposit might get really high, so better get the carnet de passage so you're not playing around with leaving cash places and maybe not getting it back. So we have this deposit. Before 2007, I believe it's $200, but you have to check yourself. Anyways, just bring, if it's Mexico, max $400, you should be fine to deposit it, and they want dollars. So that's the best currency, US dollars. Before you get the TIP though, just before, the only thing they need is to know that you have access to Mexico, meaning visa. So you have to bring your visa form filled out and stamped on your passport to be able to get this TIP. So first you need to be sure you can get in. Once you have yourself the permit to get in the country, you can then bring the car. So before that, at the border, you go to the FFM, they call it, which is just the visa office, which are actually right next to each other normally. There you go in with the photocopies of your passport, of if you've done it online, then you need a photocopy of the form that you filled out online, which then they send you by PDF and you print out, and a proof of payment. Proof of payment is annoying because a lot of people don't think about printing out the proof of payment, and if you don't, then they will send you out, go print it, come back. And so make sure you print proof of payment and make sure it says paid, because sometimes it will say standby and it doesn't work even though you have paid, so you have to go proof of payment. And there is an English traveler who printed the standby even though he did pay, and so he had to pay for a new visa at the border, which is $55 I believe, or $30, sorry, per person, and that's a bit of a pity. So with these three, then they'll go do their processes, stamp it on your passport, and you're set as a person. I believe the Mexican visa is $30. The TIP costs $55. So you need to bring at least $100 in cash for yourself and the vehicle, and an extra $400 max for the deposit, which you will get back, of course, when you get out of the country. Make sure you keep a copy of the visa, because they're gonna give you a paper saying everything has been validated. Keep that copy, maybe take a picture of it and keep it on your phone, because if you lose it, then it becomes an issue. Sure, you have the stamp on your passport, but sometimes they'll be like, okay, I want to see now the registration of this stamp to see if it's really legal, and they'll be like, where's the paper? And you're like, oh no, I trashed it because I thought this was enough. Just keep everything. Once you've crossed the border into the new country or you fly out, you can trash it then. Make sure you rip it up. And the same for the TIP. The TIP is very important that you keep the proof of payment of the deposit, because otherwise when you get out of the country, they'll be like, well, I don't have your proof of payment, I'm not going to give you back $400. So make sure you have that, and the car document that they give you that says this is your car, because they might be like, oh, I see that you've paid the $400, but we don't know what vehicle it is. And I'm like, it's this one, it's mine. And they'll be like, yeah, but you don't have the paper that proves this is your vehicle. And you're like, oh no. So make sure you keep everything and safe, and take pictures of it on your phone and send it by email to yourself, maybe in case you lose your phone. I mean, there's so many ways for you to save it somewhere. In total, it took an hour and a half, and it was actually a pretty easy process. So hope this video helped. No stress about the TIPs going internationally. One thing you do need to know though is get the TIP at the border you cross. A lot of people say you can get it later down the road, especially here in Baja California, because it's a peninsula sticking out. There's a ship then going from La Paz into mainland Mexico, and apparently you can get it there too. But you've got to drive 1,000 kilometers down before you can ship to the mainland Mexico. And if La Paz says, oh, I'm sorry, our office is closed, or oh, I'm sorry, actually, no, I need this original document, you don't have it, can you go get it from the border? You have to drive all the way back up to get it. So just for simplicity, take the time at the border to do everything right, meaning visa, make sure it's stamped with the right date, make sure all the documents on your payment of vehicle are correct, that there's no misinformation, because when you get out, they're gonna check it and be like, hey, your name is wrong, or your email looks weird, or the plate number has a wrong letter. I'm sure you'll figure out a way to get your money back, but you'll just be spending so much time going through all the different hierarchies to unlock it. So just double check everything. I hope this video helped. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below, and that's it. All the best.